Today you're learning about traditional multiplication, and this might be your first time ever experiencing this operation to solve it that way. And what I want you to know is that lattice was probably really challenging the first time you learned it. And traditional multiplication might be the same, but I promise you that we're going to work through this slowly and we're going to get through it, and you're actually probably going to find that you like traditional better and you're going to be able to solve faster than you ever could with lattice. Good luck, and just remember, try hard and take your time, and we'll get through it together, and it's going to be awesome. Today we are learning about traditional multiplication, and traditional multiplication really is the same as lattice, except there are a few key pieces that we need to do differently than lattice. And the most important part is that order matters when solving with traditional multiplication. So if we take a look at an example lattice problem of 43 times 8, I set up my lattice box, and here I could do my 8 times 4 or 8 times 3 first. It doesn't matter which one I start with. So I could do 8 times 4, which gives me 32. 8 times 3 is 24, and I add my pieces together. So if you think about how we're solving that, we did 8 times 4 and 8 times 3, and then we added pieces together. We're going to follow the same steps for traditional multiplication. So let's take a look at an example. We're going to use our same problem for our example, 43 times 8. Our first step is to set up our problem, and instead of a lattice box, I neatly write my large number on top and my small number on the bottom. Keep in mind, you should be lining this up like traditional addition with our ones in the same place value as our ones, lining up our place values. So when we did lattice, we did two things: 4 times 8 and 3 times 8. And here we're going to do the same thing, but it's going to look a little bit different, and our order matters. Our bottom number is what I like to call as the multiplier. That's what we use to multiply the other numbers. So you start in the ones place, and you work your way over. So the first thing I'm going to do is 8 times 3. That gives me 24. Now, similar to a traditional addition, we're going to write our ones place here, and we're going to carry the 2 to the top. Next step is 8 times 4, and that gives us 32. Now here's where it could get a little bit trickier for you. This 2 gets added on to the 32, so I'm really going to record 34. I write my tens in line. I have nothing to drop the 3 on here, so I will write my answer at the bottom. So traditional multiplication is the same process in the two multiplication problems that we're doing, but what's different is 1, order matters. We have to start with the ones, and 2, the addition is mixed in as we are solving. So let's try another one together. You are going to follow along for this one. We are going to do 68 times 6. The first thing we do is write our larger number on top and line up the smaller number on the bottom. So, the first thing we're going to do is identify our multiplier, which is 6, and we're going to work our way across the top. Okay, I'm going to erase those marks because I don't want them to be confusing later. So first I'm doing 6 times 8. Pause, figure out what 6 times 8 is, and come back when you have it. So 6 times 8 is 48. I'm going to record my ones place at the bottom and carry the tens to the tens column. Think to yourself, what do I do next? 6 times 6. Think about what that answer is and play the video when you are ready to move on. 6 times 6 is 36. I'm going to write that over here because now I need to remember to add the 4 place value on top to get 40. So I write my 0 in the tens place and my 4 in the answer. So let's try another one that you will solve completely on your own, and then I will show you the work afterwards. For this one, I want you to solve 7 times 78. Pause the video and play when you're ready to see your answer. So I'm going to begin solving. First step is write my larger number on top, line up my smaller number on the bottom. I first multiply 7 times 8, which equals 56. As you can see, the 6 is in the ones place, and I carried the 5 to the tens place. The next thing I'm multiplying is 7 times 7, which is 49. And then I need to add on my place value of 5 to get 55 for an answer of 556. The next thing I'm going to show you is when the numbers become larger, 8 times 425. This does not become any more difficult. The pattern you have learned works for every problem, no matter how large that number becomes. I set it up with my larger number on top. You should be following along. First, I'm doing 8 times 5. That gives me 40, and I carry my 4. Next, 8 times 2, and that gives me 16, and I add my 4 for 20. Now here's the difference. I have a number to add my 2 onto. So I just repeat my step again, and now I do 8 times 4 to give me 32, plus 2 is 34. So you can see that the process just continues to repeat. If there were a thousands place, I would continue to carry and work my way down the multiplication line. So what you should be doing what you need to do moving forward is you need to solve with traditional and check with lattice until you be confident in using traditional multiplication without your rechecking. Good luck, and we'll continue to practice.